Hello, members of the body. It's your boy KP coming back with another video. I hope all is well and everyone is staying prayed up. If you are able to, I would really appreciate if you can financially support this ministry. I will leave a link to my PayPal and Cash App below in the pinned comments. All right, so this video is going to be about how I spot reptilian, demons, jinn, fallen angels, Nephilim, evil spirits. Okay, let's get into it. I'm going to focus on three areas. What it is to be a dead soul, what it is to be awakened, and how do you know the difference between the two. All right, so let's get into it. When I talk about a dead soul, if you remember in Genesis, where the serpent tempted Eve and was like, surely God didn't say if you ate of this tree, your soul would surely die. We are all born dead because we're all born dead to sin. When Adam fell, that means he lost his connection with God. So he was separated from God. So that's what being dead is. When you are dead, your soul is dead and not alive. You're under the illusion that you're alive, but you are really dead. Okay. So these people that have been possessed by a certain spirit are totally soul dead. They're not partially soul dead like the average human. They are totally soul dead. So there's three areas of the brain I want you to think about. There's the reptilian brain that's driven solely off instinct. There's the mammal part of the brain that allows for memory and learning. And then there is the human part of the brain which allows for awareness. Okay, so when you are dealing with a demon-possessed person, a reptile, a demon, a jinn, a fallen angel, a soulless human being, their soul is totally dead. So they are operating with a body. You say, okay, Ken, how can they be totally soul dead? All right. So what really gives life to the soul is about the energy that's in it. So they have a body, and your soul is your mind, your subconscious mind, your emotions, and your will, which drives your actions, right? So when a person has taken the forbidden fruit, whether they've chosen to be possessed by a fallen angel spirit and they want to become a god on earth, that's when their soul totally goes dark. So they are given supernatural knowledge by Satan because their soul is dead. And this type of knowledge is algorithmic type of knowledge. So it'll since Satan is the god of this world, his knowledge will allow you to reach the tops of things in this world, but it's going to be things of the flesh because you are only operating with a body and a dead soul. Okay, let's break this down. So the reptilian mind is the first area of the mind, and this is what soulless human beings have. They have a body and they're operating with their soul, but their mind is a reptilian mind, which drives their emotions, which drives their will, which causes them to act a certain way. So if you think about whenever Satanists like to sacrifice something, there's a reason they don't sacrifice reptiles. There's a reason they don't sacrifice snakes or lizards or things like that, because these souls are not alive. Okay, so what's the difference between a soul that's not alive? The way you can tell a demon-possessed person or a soulless or a soul-dead person is their lack in range of emotions. They may be charismatic, but they're always going to be in that same mood. Just like you can't tell your snake's mood. Like if you ever been around a snake or a lizard, how you can't tell their mood is because they have a reptilian mind. And it causes them to act without I shouldn't even say human emotions, period. They act purely off of instinct. And instinct is like knowledge driven. It just go. It doesn't have any wisdom. So there's a difference between knowledge, which is of the flesh, and wisdom, which is of the spirit. So without having any emotions, reptilian people, demons, demon possessed people never take into account the other person's feelings or the future ramifications of their actions. They're just like a snake. I'm gonna wrap my body around a 6 month old baby and I'm gonna eat it. I don't care if I'm these people's pet, and I'm just gonna do it. That's why people wouldn't trust their baby around a anaconda snake, but you would trust your baby even around a Rottweiler or a pet bull, because there's a difference. All right, so the difference in awareness. As you move up into the next level of brain, like a dog, for instance, a dog will have the reptilian brain of instinct, but it will also have a brain of a mammal that allows it to have awareness. But there's two types of awareness. So dogs will have just awareness, but not of themselves. So that's why they can sense your emotion. They can display emotions. That's why you can tell when a dog has a range of emotions, because its soul is alive. And that's why, again, Satanists will sacrifice dogs. They'll sacrifice birds, a chicken. They'll sacrifice goats, cows, things like that, because those animals have a range of emotions. I hope you're with me. So the part of the brain that's a mammal allows for like learning and memory. That's why you can teach a dog tricks, and a dog will retain memories. Like if you haven't seen the dog in a couple months, they'll still remember you. But since there's different types of awareness, dogs just have awareness, but not self-awareness. That's why they cannot teach themselves. Are you with me? So we went over level 1, which is like the reptilian mind. Now we're going over the mind of a mammal. And then when you move to human, this is what God means about, like, I'm going to give man dominion over all things. Man is the mammal that is allowed to have self-awareness. That's why a man can teach himself based off of memory and emotions. Does that make sense? So moving into this, you want to look at whatever your spirit is being fed by is what's going to drive it. And this is why Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Because through him and through his spirit, you find the truth. And the truth allows you to break free of all the deception that is knowledge based, which is of the mind, and it gives life to your heart by lighting your spirit. That is what being born again is. You're born with your soul dead. And when you are rebirthed with that spirit of Jesus Christ, the Spirit of God, Yeshua HaMashiach, it gives life to your soul. Once your soul has life, it gives birth to a range of emotions. Those emotions allow you to correlate memories and assign meanings. Once you assign meanings, you're working with a twofold process. You're working with your memory recalled based off of experience and a live soul that is infinite knowledge from the Most High God. When those two mesh together, you get wisdom. And wisdom is of the spirit, and it will always trump knowledge. So knowledge is of the earth and of the flesh, and spirit is higher than that. It's of God, right? The highest spirit, the spirit that gives life. That is why Jesus Christ in Matthew 11:11 says, out of all the men that are born of the womb of woman, John is the greatest. John, he's talking about John the Baptist. But he was like, but he that is lowest in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. So what they're trying to tell you is, no matter how smart a soulless human being is, their brain is driven off knowledge. And when your brain is only driven off knowledge, All your decisions are based off of past experience and based off of that past experience, it's a predictability of what can happen in the future. And that's how Satan works. He knows the past and the present, and he uses his artificial intelligence to calculate the probability of the next occurrence, right? But if you look throughout the Bible, the story of the prophets, this is how every prophet was able to beat an adversary that was much larger. The way David beat Goliath is because he was operating with wisdom, no matter on the earth how wise a person was. And wisdom will always beat knowledge. Let's go back another way. So let's look at this. Back to the reptilian mind. Just like you wouldn't trust your newborn with a snake because that's a reptilian mind, but you would trust your reptilian snake around a newborn baby. That was if the snake was big enough to eat it, you wouldn't trust it. But you would trust a Rottweiler around a baby. The a dog will have awareness, but not self-awareness. So they're aware of other human emotions. They have like a living soul that has been lit with awareness, and that's what we're looking for. And then that's why dogs have emotions. That's why you couldn't tell if a snake was like happy, sad, ecstatic, excited. You know what I mean? You really can't tell what mood they're in, but a dog you can tell. You can tell when a dog's amused, happy, sad, depressed, sick, when the dog is agitated, when the dog has anxiety, when the dog is curious. It's because they have a live soul. Are you with me? So the easiest way to spot a demon, a Nephilim, a soulless human being, a fallen angel, a Jinn, they are very intelligent. It has nothing to do with intelligent. It has something to do with wisdom and a live soul. There's a lot of fake TIs out here on the internet. So when you're watching for this, since they are soul dead, they are not going to have a range of emotions. They are going to be very monotone. So a person may be charismatic, but they'll always be charismatic. You want to look for the range of a living soul. So if you watch enough of their videos, you should see a range of emotion. You should see one where they're really excited, one where they're sad, one where they're reflecting. That's another one. You'll see a soulless human being. Since they're a dead soul and they're only working with a brain and a satanic spirit, they will be all-knowing. So even when they're talking, a lot of us, well, I don't, but a lot of people will write down videos and write down a format. But even knowing what you're going to say, at times you will reflect and have a different thought and come back in with something added that you didn't think of earlier. You won't see these with these soulless human beings. Their brain is more like a computer because Satan is running it. So their soul isn't alive. So it isn't feeding human emotions into their brain that is meshing with carnal mind, causing a hybrid thought emotion to come out, which is based off of spiritual knowledge and earthly experience. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about that, please leave them below in the comments. But you will always know them by their fruits. And the fruit of a living soul, look for a range of emotions. A fruit of a dead soul, look for a lack of emotions, not a lack of intelligence. A lack of a range of emotions. That's the only way you're going to tell. You will start developing your discernment like that. Demon-possessed people are very smart, and they don't have a soul So they're going to outsmart people that do have a soul. They are going to be able to do things that are more ruthless and more soulless than you can imagine. You know what I mean? Back again. Your dog won't eat your baby, but your snake will. No matter how long you've had the snake, no matter how good you've been to the snake. Hope that makes sense, YouTube. You guys stay blessed and covered in the blood of the Most High God, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.